formally welcome you to Music Cheat Codes, Episode 3. How to jam, as well as practical exercises and resources. So, today we are going to be unlocking the door to jamming, which is the free, playful nature of making music on the fly with yourself and with others. And if you were here for episode 2, then you'll remember this analogy. But this right here is another shovelful into the trench that we're digging, into the aqueduct that we're digging out to make music flow in our lives. All right? So I'm very excited for it. So, what is jamming? Jamming is playing music without a script. It's improvisation. It's free. It's playful. You're messing around in a garage or in a basement. You're clapping hands, singing along with a choir. Or you're on stage playing with super amazing people, improvising lines off the top of your head. It's not about perfection. It's about joy and about an exciting engagement, almost like it's a conversation, a really thrilling conversation that you're having with not just yourself, not just one friend, but you can have with a bunch of people at the same time. And there is nothing quite like a solid jam. Oh, and Joe, you're at the plant store with your mom and aunt making flower bouquets for Mother's Day? Let's go! Happy early Mama Day. So, I want to address a little bit of skepticism that people have in regards to jamming. I know that some people will, think, I'm not good enough, or I can't jam, or that seems so complex. Now listen, even myself, I remember so many times earlier in my life where I would freeze on stage or not know what to play in a given scenario, especially the first times I was jamming. I was playing with some adults when I was still a kid, and it was so frightening. And I remember the first one I ever had with my elder brother Reed, who's 12 years older than me, and one of his friends who is a similar age to him. And I was in the basement playing with them. I was playing keyboard, and they're just like, just feel it. Get after it and do it. And it was so difficult for me at that moment. And because they were playing at such a high level. And I stumbled my way through it. But afterwards, I really didn't even know if I would ever be able to improvise. I didn't think it was approachable for me. But I'm here to tell you, everyone feels that way. And it's not about skill. It's about stumbling through. It's about having fun. Just like when a little baby or a little toddler starts to learn how to speak, they don't get all the words right at first. They don't know how to put the sentences together. But eventually, with care, compassion, and some diligent practice, and what I mean by practice is simply just doing it. Eventually, you start learning how to speak full sentences. You start being able to carry a conversation. And we're going to approach it from that perspective, where we're going to act like kids again. We're going to make some silly sounds during this stream, and we're going to make it so that everyone can see that it's truly no big deal. We can just have fun. We just got to let ourselves be a little comfy and a little vulnerable with it, all right? Now, to preview what we're going to be going over, we are going to tackle hesitations, right, in a more direct way. We're going to learn how to jam in a solo way by yourself. We're also going to learn how to jam with others and talk about what that means. We're going to share some free online tools and other places where you can find some tracks or some loops or something else to be able to practice improvising and jamming at home. And we'll also talk about how to find other live local jam spots around where you live, because there's always somewhere where people are jamming of all skill levels. And then I think at the end I will be doing a bit of a looper jam again, like I did in episode 2, to give an example as to what it looks like when you start jamming and also a way that you can jam by yourself. So remember, music is yours. Play now, learn later, and we're going to jump right into it. All right, first things first. The most common hesitations to jamming. Why do we hesitate to jam with people? Is it fear of sounding bad, not knowing enough, or thinking you need an instrument? I once skipped a jam night because I genuinely thought I'm unprepared to play with these people. I'm going to screw it up. I don't know the chords or the other things that they're going to be playing with. That right there, to bring it back to episode 1, that is music gatekeeping at its finest. We're having the impressions of others or the impressions that we hold inside of ourselves and those little annoying voices get in front of us, exploring new things, exploring new areas of our life, and allowing us to be adventurous and to experience joy and to get inspired by being around other wonderfully creative and playful people. Think about it like a conversation, right? If you were to approach a conversation thinking that everything you were about to say needed to come out as if it was a complete and fully formed thought, like a thesis statement, like an exact, perfected fact, how would you ever be able to engage in a real dialogue with people? Or a playful one, or talk about things that you like food or television shows or books or nature or flowers? It would be impossible. We let ourselves in conversation constantly stutter over a couple words, say a few uhs and likes and filler words. We allow ourselves to get excited and emotional and laugh ourselves to death sometimes just by playing around with words and letting ourselves play within the conversation that we're having. This isn't a business interview. This isn't a TED Talks. This is a conversation that you have with other people. And that's exactly what jamming is. Here's the truth. Every single musician that you've ever heard that you know can improvise, that you know can jam, from Miles Davis to Hendrix or anyone like that, at one point or another, they were sounding silly in a jam. They made some weird choices. They probably also felt a little fearful or a little hesitant to jump in and lay down that lick or play that line or hit that beat. But jamming is like doodling, right? No one judges your sketch. And if they do, you probably shouldn't be hanging out with them. Let's be honest. They're not a good person to hang out with and have fun with. If someone's judging a sketch or a doodle, no way. That's so unfortunate. No one actually that's a fun, joyful, inspiring person to be around is going to judge a doodle. You don't need to be a pro. What you need is curiosity and a sense of exploration and a sense of adventure. Even without an instrument, your hands and your voice are plenty enough to be able to partake in jamming with other people. Now, have you ever held back from trying something creative because it felt scary? Music, art, anything? I want you to take 20 seconds and think about that. Right now. Those times it was a little rough around the edges, a little hesitant. Maybe showing a painting, or trying sculpture, or dancing, or going skating, or baking a cake for the first time. That hesitation, that fear, today, we are letting that go. It's out of here. Jamming is your playground. Because music is yours. And we play it now, we learn it later. And every jam that you try is a step toward a world where everyone plays music free from fear, the way it ought to be. Okay. How to jam with yourself, with or without an instrument. Now we're getting into the juicy bits. This is where it's going to get real fun. So, jamming with yourself, I know, can seem like a little bit of an abstract idea. So first we're going to approach what it looks like when you jam with other people. Okay? Typically, let's say you have a drummer and a guitar player. Now, a very typical scenario is the drummer starts playing a little beat. Right? Nice and simple. Doesn't need to be anything crazy. It could even just be a right? And then the guitar player, all they got to do is sync up with that. And thus the jam begins. From there, the conversation starts. That's our theme. That's the root part. Hey, do you like this show? Boom, boom, boom. That's a drummer saying, do you like that? Boom, 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 boom. And the guitar player being like, oh yeah, I love that show. Boom, 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 boom. And the drummer being like, what do you like about it the best? Boom, 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 boom. And the guitar player being like, I like the main character story arc. You know, when he defeats the bad guy and, powers up. And thus the conversation begins. There it is. That's the foundation. It's this interplay of one person brings in one element, another person syncs up with that element. One of them decides to throw in something a little extra. The other one responds by maybe syncing up with that something extra, or doing something a little bit different. And suddenly the jam is rolling and everyone's starting to have a fun time. Now what happens? What happens if all of a sudden the drummer messes up? Guitar player's just sitting there. Best thing to do. Now, sometimes what happens is, and when we think about approaching jamming, people think, oh, if that were to happen, I would just crash out. I'd be so embarrassed. It'd be shameful, all this other stuff. But no, a real jam, when you're really having fun, you're really playing. The best thing to do is laugh. And the guitar player's still going, they start laughing with you. And then say, come on, buddy, let's go. And now we're back in, having the greatest time ever. And the laughter actually keeps rolling because now we've made a little mistake. Now guess what? If you laugh through it, if one of you messes up and laughs through it, then that means you allowed each other to experiment. You allowed each other to play, and you opened up the ground for what we would call an open and honest conversation that is totally fine with being a little offbeat sometimes. Now the guitarist can begin to experiment and maybe make a couple flubs and mess up and laugh at themselves. And back and forth it goes until they figure out something really groovy, really fun, or something that's communicating to both of them and means something in that moment. That is the beauty and bounty of jamming, all right? So when we bring this over to how to jam by yourself, whoa, abstract, right? but it's so much easier than you think. Now, the first thing, if you are a fully able-bodied person, and I'm going to go with that assumption. If you're not, then we would need to talk about EEG helmets, and we totally can. Let's go. Or other systems. And truly, if you are not a fully able-bodied person, please hop in that Discord, DM me directly. I would love to help to hook you up, to get you going making music, because I promise you, even if you are fully paralyzed, you can't even speak, if you're at Stephen Hawking level, as long as those brain waves are firing, I know you can make music, and we could figure out how to make it happen. And there's already systems to do that. But onwards. Forgive my digression. If you're a fully able-bodied person, we have our hands, we got our mouth. All right? Or, heck, we have our hands and our legs. You got two hands. They can operate independently of each other. Let's just keep it there for right now so we don't switch up the instruments too much. So we're going to deal with just our knees and our hands. Let me set up the mic for it. All right. I'll speak a little bit louder now. So, with the knees and hands out, we're going to say that the left hand is player 1 and the right hand is player 2. We're going to let player 1 begin. And player 1 is going to do the similar thing that the drummer was just doing in our last example. A boom, boom, boom. Right? That's it. Now, you want the right hand to jam with it? Here we go. First, sync it up. Why not? Okay, now they're in sync. Let's say the right hand wants to express something a little bit more, though. Oh my goodness. Now let's say we really want to push it and say the right hand wants to do a little bit more of what the guitar was doing. And right there, now, if you've never done this before, you're going to start to experience what's called separation, which in your brain can feel a little intense at first, right? But that's good. What that feeling in your head is when you start to try to separate your hands, or even if you're clapping and trying to sing, ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-dum. Again, another version of jamming by yourself. Da-da-dum dum dum bum 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 bum. Boom bum 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 ba-da-dum dum bum bum. Dum bum bum ba ba. Right? You can start to experience what we call separation. And what that is it's like your brain can feel a little bit like it's supercharging itself and really stressing out. And that feeling, that kind of intense mental pressure that will start to occur is actually a great thing to dig into rather than run away from. What's happening is your brain is actively creating new neurological paths inside of it to get it so that the different parts of your body and the different instruments that are your body and in your body begin to be able to communicate with each other and act like they're two different instrumentalists. Suddenly, we start getting very, what one would call multimodal with our capacity to think. And that's a very healthy thing for people that are developing and still growing and still have their neurology developing in their brain. It's also very, very helpful for people that are, past the age of 28 that want to remain, want to retain neurological elasticity so that we're able to continue to have an adaptable and healthy brain. So this is a very useful thing, not simply for just the joy of making music and to be inspired and to have a bunch of fun, but surprisingly, it's also incredibly healthy and beneficial for you too. May seem simple at first, but the benefits are profound. From here, I want to bring it over to the piano for a moment, all right? Now, I'm not going to get too technical, and I reviewed some of this in episode 1, I believe, where we went over the two-finger approach. Newsflash, the two-finger approach that we went over in episode 1 is another example of jamming by yourself. Check out how we do this. If you weren't there for it, we're going to review it one more time. So, we're going to take our left hand, all right, and it's going to choose any white note. And we're only going to stick with the white notes for right now, okay? And just any white note that's, let's say, below the middle of the piano, okay? Now, I'm not going to look. We're going to say this one. All right. And then the right hand finger is going to hit a couple of notes in sequence. All white notes, all right? And I don't know which ones they are. And now the left hand is going to choose a new one. Right hand, a couple more notes. New one with the left hand again. New one again. Oh, that sounds a little pretty now. Oh my gosh, it was the same note from the beginning. You heard that little double tap? We don't need to worry about those. We're having fun. And honestly, because you don't need to know what notes you're hitting, close your eyes, listen to it. Beautiful. There we are. The jam begins. If you want to lock it in a little bit more, you try to maintain a little pulse inside your head or with your mouth even. I don't even know what notes I'm hitting, right? And just like that, you're jamming. It's so fun. And it's so approachable and easy, whether you're 6 years old or 60 years old, or anywhere outside of that or in between. It's an approachable way to start to have fun with making music, experience the joy of music, right? And claim music as yours and start playing it right now. No need to learn it right now. You can do that later. Okay. Now that we've overviewed how to approach jamming solo, and we went over kind of the theory of jamming with other people, we're going to review right now some practical resources and tools that you can use or find online very easily to be able to practice jamming at home before you go out and start jamming with other people. All right? So let me bring up, first and foremost, I'm going to bring up the internet. Boop. All right. So right here, I'm going to search. Now, this is the most important thing. You search for jam track or instrumental track, right? If you're just singing or just clapping along or doing drums, you don't need to worry about a key or anything. Now, you can say a certain genre, too. So let's say bluegrass, just for the sake of it. bluegrass jam track. Just like that. Now, if you can see in the drop down here, I know it's a little small in the corner, but you can start to see bluegrass jam track in G or C or 90 BPM if you're trying to focus on a very specific tempo. We don't need to get into all that right now. Just for the sake of it, we're going to do, well, let's do bluegrass jam track in G. And look at that, right up the top, 3-chord bluegrass progression in G, backing track, 75 BPM. All that wonderful technical information, right? So we're going to click on that. Forgive it if there's some ads. Oh, look at that. They're being very kind to us. Oh, and forgive me. I need to set up one other thing so that we can hear all of this in the stream. Here we go. There we are. All right. And I'm going to bring it down just in case it's blasting. Oh, and this one's kind of nice too. It even looks like it has a little bit of a chord chart for anyone that would want to start to explore that. There we go. And here it starts. And look at that. We got a bluegrass backing track. And yeah. And right there you can just start humming along. Yeah. Look at that. It's that easy. Start clapping along. Feel that rhythm, right? Or want to bring it to an instrument? And look, this one's all in white keys. Sorry, stop. I'll do one finger approach. Boom, we're in it. Woo! Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm having too much fun with this. Let's move on. But again, I just want to show y'all, this is how easy it is to find backing tracks to jam to and to start to experiment with just playing. Have fun, explore different things. And even if you're a musician watching this that already has some skills, let's say in a certain couple of genres, switch it up, right? What's beautiful about music and something that happens is that we can get comfortable in our genres, in our certain zones, and then what can actually happen is creativity can start to freeze a little bit because we don't step out of those comfortable boxes. We actually go back to some of the same hesitations that people have before they even begin to start to jam with other people or to play music. It's the same thing. Oh, I don't know. I don't think I could hold it together with hip hop. I don't think I could hold it together with metal or something like that. Give it a try. Have some fun. Do something a little fresh with yourself and with your art. And that way we're able to open up how we feel. We're open up different sides of our musicality and different sides of our creativity that we probably haven't explored before. So here, let's go for it. Let's switch it. Let's bring it to a whole other side. Let's do heavy metal jam track. Heavy metal jam backing track in E minor. Now, if you happen to do one of these tracks, and you only find stuff that feels too complex, you simply need to type in easy at the end of all of it. Okay? And that'll clear everything up, just in case. But we're just gonna go look at this wild majestic metal guitar backing track jam in E minor. Wild majestic? Oh my goodness, that sounds great. Woo! Oh my goodness, listen to this track, huh? And then you just let yourself play. Yeah. Da, da, ba, da, da. You rise. Let yourself have fun. Be goofy with it. Have fun. Right? And boom, just like that, we are once again having fun. I mean, I'm having fun over here. I didn't even think I was going to start having fun. I'm trying to stop myself now from having too much fun on the stream. It's so simple to be able to just begin, pick up, and go. Begin, pick up, and go. The toughest thing, I will admit, like even just right now, the toughest thing was making that first sound. That's the first step. The first step is the hardest, right? It's like jumping into a pool or something, but that's what it is. It's a pool. Jump right into that body of water. Don't try to get comfy to it first. Just shock yourself into it. Yeah! Who cares if it's bad? It's not bad because you're making progress, because you're challenging yourself and you're putting yourself into a position to grow. And any time that we're putting ourselves into a position to grow, we are doing good work in this life. We are stepping forward in the way that we're supposed to, which is to experience life to its fullest, to be adventurous, to be explorative, to seek, to achieve joy, to have hope and progress, and to be inspired. I believe in each one of you. Just take that first step, jump in there. And if it sounds wicked silly, good. Keep doing it. Now, I promise you, you'll stop sounding silly and start sounding really cool really quick. You'll at least be having a ball. Okay, and now I would like to review, let's say, outside of this, let's say that you do have a little bit of software. So I'm going to spend a second in software for a second here. I have Ableton, but if you have any DAW or anything in which you can find loops, right, you can utilize that. So let me bring up Ableton here. Again, I know it's a little small in the corner, but please bear with me. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, there is, let's say, I'm going to do clips. And we're going to just find some kind of fun loop. Let's do drum clips. Okay. And I'm going to click on a couple things. First, I'm going to bring it into a new track, so hopefully it won't be crazy super duper loud. Okay, and let me turn it down. I don't want to blast everyone in the ears. Ooh, just like that. And then you loop it, right? So in every program, you have the capacity to either duplicate the line, which if you see right now, I can duplicate and you see it grow up there, right? Or like I did, loop it, right? Try to expand it a little bit more for you. You can see right here, this little section is looped. And suddenly, you have something to jam with, right? I didn't plan this either. This is just the first thing I clicked on. I've none of this. This is me just opening new things, just like you would be doing at home, right? And just seeing where it takes me. Pick up an instrument, same thing. Just gonna. okay? Now, depending on what your software is, if you need any assistance in figuring out, or a little tutorial how to duplicate, find clips, or find clips online that you can download for free, anything of that nature, or if you even want me to make you a couple clips that I can send you for you to jam on, please reach out to me either in the Discord. Again, the Discord is attached and pinned at the top of the chat, or reach out to me directly through any of my social medias or anything of that nature. I'm gladly here to help and help you along your journey. If you need aid in learning how to duplicate, learning how to loop, anything like that, I'm gladly always willing to help. It's much easier than it seems. It just takes a second to get used to any given program environment, right? That's all. And man, I really like this one though. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. All right. Now there. Let's see. What do we have next? So, what I'd like you to do is if you're watching this, you're watching through, big step, I invite you, I ask you, please go online tonight, go to YouTube, whether it's your instrument, your voice, or just clapping along. Type in whatever genre. Start with something you're comfy with, something you really love. Type in that genre, backing track, jam track. Click on something, and no matter what it is, just start singing or pick up your instrument and start trying to play along. It may feel like you're stumbling through it. You may start to have different types of gatekeeping emotions bubble up. But just remind yourself and say to yourself, these thoughts and these feelings are gatekeeping thoughts and feelings. And they are only trying to hold me back from experiencing joy. And I choose joy. And let yourself have fun and play. Be a kid again about it. You play now, you learn later. Music is yours. So please, tonight, of anything else that you do, open up a jam track, anyone, any genre, go to YouTube, search it, just like I just showed you here, and please try it out. Or if you're feeling adventurous and you have a DAW, bring in a loop it, duplicate it if you know how, or even, if you want to take that step, message me directly if you need any assistance or guidance or any suggestions. If you need just a little nudge in the right direction, I'm here for you. Please reach out. I'll respond as quickly as I can. All right? That would make me feel so happy. And when you do it, reach out to me afterwards or hop on the Discord and let me know how it felt for your first time jamming by yourself at home. All right? Thank you. Thank you so much. It would make me so happy. And finally, I think we're going to wrap this up with a bit of a looper jam. Okay? So what I'm going to utilize is my keyboard. All right? Now this is, again, I think I'll put it in this way. This is an example of where you can get to once you get a little bit more comfortable with rhythm and playing along on an instrument or even your voice. I did my voice last week for episode 2. At the end, I did a looper jam with that to show you how you create a song. But today, we're going to focus more on improv, okay? So I'm going to create a little loop here, all on the fly, all improv, and we're going to see how it goes together. So you can witness what it looks like to jam by yourself, and if you were to ever get a looping pedal of any sort, you would be able to open up this possibility for yourself as well, which I highly encourage if you are at all inclined. All right? So, let's start. Yeah. Sure. There we go, right? So now we have the drummer setting up that little beat. And just imagine that this is a real jam with other people. You got that drummer feeling it? Okay. Now let's say you're going to, let's say that you're a bass player. Keep it nice and simple, right? We don't need to do anything too crazy, right? There we go. And the first note on a bass, the open string, the big thick one. There we go. That's the big open string, right? So we're just gonna, and then we're gonna do the big open string up top, and then the second string right below it. So that's the E and the A. Oh, look at that. Now you're jamming with your friends. I'm gonna loop it now. Mess it up. Okie doke. And now the bass player is playing a little bit. So let's say that we have a typical little garage band going on. So we're gonna bring in a guitar player. I'm gonna say it's an electric guitar player. Clean electric guitar. I found it on here, right? And again, keep it nice and simple. You don't need to be a virtuoso about it. We're here to have some fun, right? So we're gonna say, oh, yes. And let's say we do have a person that's playing piano too, right? Again, let's keep it nice and simple. You don't need it to be crazy. And oh, look at that. The jam just keeps opening up. Oh my goodness. Music is abounding immediately. And then who knows? What should we do for a solo, huh? I feel like it should be a horn or something. Yeah, let's just do a trumpet for fun, huh? And now I'm not gonna loop it anymore, and now we're just in, fun old jammy territory, right? Nice and simple. And isn't this so fun? Whew! And now let's say the drummer, at that point, we're gonna add a little variation. Let's say that the drummer now decides to play a little bit of the ride cymbal, right? And let's say that the guitar player decides to start playing a chord, right? A little bit more of a chord. And oh, now it's expanding, right? And then the bass player at that moment would say, you know what? Let's see if I can find the bass again. You know what? How about we add a little secondary little hit at the end of this line, right? Oh, there we go. starts to influence the other one a little bit differently. Now we're having a conversation, right? And then the trumpet says it's time to start playing off again. And then the singer jumps in. And then what does everyone do? They variate back. Oh my goodness. The jam abounds, right? There we go, everyone. So that's a little bit of a practical example of how it would feel, you know, just letting yourself casually play with a group of musicians or looping by yourself, right? Now to bring it all together, this is jamming. It's playing, it's having a little conversation. Honestly, when you start, it's best to keep it simple. Don't get too wordy, don't get too, all over the place. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be a virtuoso about it. Not all of your rhythms or all of your notes need to be there. You just need to take the first step into doing it. Jump into the pool and experience a splash. Let yourself enjoy the act of having a musical conversation with other people. Use small layers, bit by bit, and suddenly it evolves into something really pretty and really fun. Now remember, when you jam, if you have any of those things creep up in you, any of those hesitations, any of those fears, make sure you remind yourself, this is musical gatekeeping. And I choose music. Music is yours. I'm going to play it now. I'll learn it later. And now, once you start jamming, once you do your first jam, or you jump into new territories of music you haven't before, if you've already been a player for a little while, you are taking another step towards the goal of near universal music literacy in 150 years. And you're making me as proud as can be. Next week, I think we're going to cover an instrument. If anyone has any suggestions as to what they'd like to learn more about, now it can be anything, please feel free, let me know either in the Discord or directly message me, reach out any way that you have available to you. And this, everyone, has been episode 3 of Music Cheat Codes, How to Jam, Practical Exercises and Resources. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching.